All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're here with another episode of Retirement Renaissance. I'm here with my colleague, Mike Angelucci, and we are at a mall because today we're going to talk about the value of walking and exercising as part of retirement. So, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're just going to start to walk.
All right,
and
sounds good.
You go ahead and.
Oh, you're going to hold it?
There we go.
All right,
How's
there
that?
we go.
Okay,
Now we got
now
this
we're doing
going.
it.
All right, so if you ask yourself, or if somebody asked you if there was a pill that you could take that would give you better cardio health, better memory, better creativity, give you a better mood, would you take that pill? Absolutely. And
I would.
yeah, that pill exists.
Sign me up.
It's called walking, and I think in the blog that I write that will accompany this video, I say this might be the most important blog that I write for Retirement Renaissance, because walking is the one thing that you can do to improve all areas of your life. And
Right.
that's what Retirement Renaissance is
and
about.
as you look around here, we're at the mall, and there's tons of people walking around the mall today.
Yes.
Lots of mall walkers. I don't know how much shopping's going on, but
No,
there's a lot of walking going on.
there's
So
no shopping going on. It's all walking.
so let's get into the details here of what the
Absolutely.
benefits are of walking and how that might apply.
Well, in doing a lot of the reading and research for Retirement Renaissance, it seems like walking kept on coming up over and over again. In one of the books by a gentleman named Daniel Levitin, his book, Successful Aging, a neuroscientist explores the power and potential of our lives. There is a whole chapter dedicated to exercise and walking. And in addition, I came across another book called In Praise of Walking by another neurologist out of Scotland, and both of them emphasize over and over again the power of walking, not only on your cardio health, but on your long-term memory and your creativity and your mood, like I said earlier. These are just things that come up over and over again in the literature.
So how does walking help your long-term memory?
Yeah, I think it's from what I understand, it's about who we are, how we developed as human beings. Shane O'Mara, who wrote the book that I referenced a second ago called In Praise of Walking, says or makes the observation that as human beings, we evolve to walk. We stand upright. No other animals do that. And
We're going to take a turn here, so
yes,
don't run
let's go.
into anybody.
All right. So, and one of the fascinating things he says is human beings walked out of Africa. We walked out of Africa in groups of people, and we migrated throughout the world by walking. And there's something about that whole process of walking and thinking that the mind has to work. If you think about it, when you're walking, even walking like this with a partner, your brain has to keep in step with the other person. So your brain is thinking about that, it's looking around, it's making...
Well, my brain is focused on keeping my arm up with this
You're doing-
camera, which is a workout in and of
And you're
itself.
doing a great job, and I'm getting too close at times. But how's that arm?
It's going, it's good.
It's good, but when you start to think about it, your brain is making thousands of decisions every second when you're walking. And that's why walking in a mall like this with somebody is good, because you're forced to navigate through other people. You're
Right.
seeing different things in the environment. Your mind is constantly working, so it's in a sense exercise for the mind. In fact, I think it's in Levitin's book. He says walking on a treadmill is good, walking in the neighborhood is better, and walking in nature is best. And if you think about walking in nature, I'm thinking about my run this morning. It wasn't totally in nature, but it was in the neighborhood. And what happens when you're outdoors, especially in nature, is the ground is changing. So you have to constantly be looking at the ground as you're walking and making those adjustments. So your brain is constantly moving.
Right, so I'm constantly trying to adjust this camera, for example, which has not been easy. I'm over here, everybody. Thank you.
You're gonna get some nice close-ups.
Yep.
So your brain's making those micro adjustments all the time. So it's like I've said before, it's exercise for the brain, especially when you're outside and your terrain is constantly changing. And I thought about that, like I said this morning. I went out for a little run and I had to navigate vehicles on the road, students walking to the local high school, and then the icy sidewalks and black ice on the road and going from the road to the sidewalk and trying to be careful and slowing down. So it was not only a physical exercise, but a mind exercise for me as well. So that's the powerful thing about walking, and that's what the neuroscientists are finding. So it's just not a cardio thing, it's a brain health thing.
Right.
Walking it.
We were talking earlier about 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
Right.
Exercise or walking. So I was mentioning that my wife, my lovely wife Kim, does a lot of walking, and she walks in the mall. And Mike's first question to me was, well, does she do it 5 days a week for 30 minutes? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think in the book by Shane O'Mara, I'm sorry, I forgot his name for a second there, but
I'm sure he'll forgive you.
He'll forgive me on this one. But he does kind of give a script. He says if you walk at a 20-mile-an-hour pace, that's about 3 miles over the course of an hour, for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that should be sufficient to get you the brain and cardio benefits that you need. Another interesting thing, though, in both books, and I've seen this in other literature recently, is most people get the most benefit by just getting off the couch and doing something. So even if you can't do 30 minutes 5 days a week, just doing something, walk around the block for 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But studies have shown that people that just go from couch potato to a little bit of exercise get a huge run up in brain and cardio benefits versus somebody that's a half a marathon runner stepping up to becoming a full marathon runner.
Obviously not as much wear and tear on the body.
Right.
You know, you and I are both runners, and it does take a little bit of a toll on your body over time. So walking is obviously probably better on the joints.
Yep.
Although I'll mention, you know, sometimes when I walk, I actually have pain in areas of my legs that I don't have when I run, which is interesting. But I think it's just using different muscles.
I think you're right. And in the past year, I've started to run a little less and walk a little more. And I had that problem initially. And I think it really was just you're using muscles that you haven't used before, because the walking doesn't bother me like it used to. Because a year ago I would say, geez, I'd rather jog than, because what I do is not running, it's more of a jog.
Right.
But I would say I'm more comfortable jogging than I am walking, but that's since changed since I've been doing more walking.
Well, what are some of the other benefits that we have when we're walking around, whether we're walking in the mall or walking out in nature? Or, I mean, I don't know, we're here in Buffalo, I don't want to walk outside right now, but.
Right, well, that's why you come to a mall, do something, even, like I said, if it's 3 or 4 days a week, just get out and do it, get your body moving. In the books, both of them mention that there are programs now in other countries where doctors are actually writing scripts for people to walk, whether it's going to a museum or bird watching or whatever somebody might like to do. The doctors are saying you need to walk, and they're hoping that at some point they'll be able to very precisely prescribe what people need to do. Science hasn't got there yet, but it looks like that's coming down the road pretty soon for a lot of us in our lives. And then the last other thing, just the beauty of walking. One other great thing of walking is it actually makes you a nicer person. It makes you more agreeable.
Okay, wait a minute. I don't know about that, Mike.
there's this.
Hold on, we lost. Okay.
Yeah, there's these big 5 factors called that look at openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And if you walk, you improve in all those areas.
Really?
Another area that they have found is creativity.
So are you saying, Mike, that if I walk more, people are going to like me more?
Yes, in fact, yes. Or, I find that I
way.
like you more as I'm walking with you.
Oh, okay, I see how that works.
And you think better. A very interesting fact, a lot of the great philosophers, from Nietzsche to Thoreau to Rousseau to Aristotle, were all walkers. In fact, the Aristotle school of philosophy was known as the Peripatetic school, and that is Greek for to walk. And so, because Aristotle would actually walk and teach. Yeah, so apparently you're smarter. I don't know if this video is showing us.
I feel smarter already, and I've only been walking for about 10 minutes.
So healthier, better brain health, better creativity, better agreeableness, and what else?
I don't know. That sounds like you covered all of it.
Yeah, we're trying. See, but I guess maybe it's we can't navigate and talk.
Yeah, it is hard to navigate and talk with this thing here, but I
doing a
kind of like the effect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
What other pieces of information do we want to share about the values of walking, especially for those maybe that are in retirement? I can see that, for example, if you're retired and you're bored,
Yes, go do it.
walking is something you could do.
Well, I think, again, the thing most people are most fearful of is that dementia. And we're going to do some more stuff on dementia. There's great literature out there. But from what I'm seeing already, one of those prescriptions for dementia is just getting exercise. The best way to exercise is just what everyone has the ability to do is walk. Just put on some comfortable shoes, go someplace. We're not doctors. If you haven't walked a lot in the past, definitely talk to your doctor about that. But it's absolutely something you want to start incorporating into your life to make it much more productive for yourself and get the most out of your retirement.
I'm zooming in on you, Mike. All right, so listen, I think we've nailed about all the points here.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Nope, I think those are the big points, and do yourself a favor and get out in nature and walk about.
All right, well, for Mike Hebern and Mike Angelucci is another episode of Retirement Renaissance. Have a great day.
Thanks.